to, first of all, thank Jack and Kathy and Jackie for their new friendship, and Rick here at Brewery Riccoli for doing this for me and for all of you. And one more shout out to Bobby Jackson in Charleston, South Carolina for the introduction. I'm gonna do a song called "The Blues Made Me Strong Again." Yes, I'm going away, baby. I'm getting on that train. I'm going to Memphis to tell my story, how the blues saved me way back when. Bad luck, you won't find me. I saw you creeping around my shoulder yesterday. My brothers and sisters, they all were with me, standing right here today. Don't you ever doubt me, you better believe the blues made me strong again. When the hard times come, and they surely will, everybody has them, you're gonna get your fill. I got a real good feeling my time is gonna come, 'cause when I get to Memphis, I'll be a native son. Don't you ever doubt me, you better believe the blues made me strong again. The blues made me strong again. Yes, I'm going away, baby. I'm getting on that train. Steam engines, I'm going to Memphis. I don't have time to play no game. Yes, I'm going away, baby. I'm getting on that train. I'm going to Memphis to tell my story. I don't have time to play no game. Yes, I'm going away, baby. I'm getting on that train. I'm going to Memphis to tell my story. The blues made me strong again. Don't you ever doubt me, you better believe the blues made me strong again. The blues made me strong again. Thank you so much. Here's a song from my latest CD, Daybreak in Alabama, the Langston Hughes Project. I wrote 9 songs based on the poems of Langston Hughes. This one is called My People. is beautiful, and the stars are beautiful too. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also is the sun. My people, my people. So the faces of my people, so the eyes of my people. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also is the sun. So the faces of my people, so the eyes of my people. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also is the sun. My people. My people, my people, my people. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone,
Friends here in Colorado,
and welcome
logged
to
into
the third annual gala
contribute to
of the
the
Jack Hadley Black History Museum. We'd like to thank you for your presence here this evening. And in the words of Maurice White, and thanks for Mr. Jack Hadley for that medley. He played so beautifully, wouldn't you agree? Again, thank you for joining this event. We hope you have a wonderful time tonight. For the occasion, it is to save the historic Imperial Hotel located in Thomasville, Georgia. My name is Walter Leslie, and I am the Vice President of Jack Hadley Black History Museum Board of Trustees. Let us start this evening off with a prayer, just to make sure we get started on the right foot. If you would, please, let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for allowing us to be participants in this day. We thank you for blessing us with life and health as well as it is. We thank you for James Jack Hadley, the founder, collector, and curator of the Black History Museum. As we're gathered here on this evening on one accord, we ask that you join us. Bless this gala, which is a fundraiser for the historic Imperial Hotel. We ask that you bless all that had a hand in organizing this event. Father, knowing that you are omnipresent, we ask that you bless all that are present this evening, wherever they may be. Continue to bless this museum and all that seek to enable its existence. Once again, Father, we ask that you place your loving hands on this gala. Hold us in your powerful arms as this program, and allow this program to be a success. All these things we ask of you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you. Okay, at this time, for all of those who may be new to Zoom, I'd like to go over just a little bit of Zoom etiquette. Okay, before we begin this program, everyone will be muted except for those presenting. Secondly, we want you to please be aware that this event will be recorded for future use. Once again, we'd like to thank you for taking time this weekend to save the Imperial Hotel. We'd love to see all of those wonderful masks this evening. So make sure you turn on your video and put on your masquerade mask. I have the distinct honor this evening of introducing our guest speaker. Our mistress of ceremony, Miss Tracy Potts. Tracy Potts is the senior Washington correspondent for NBC News Channel, the affiliate division of NBC News. She reports on the federal government. Based on Capitol Hill, her live and taped updates are seen daily on Early Today, CNBC News, NBC News Now, and more than 150 local affiliates throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, and Asia. She has reported for NBC for more than 20 years. Outside of journalism, Tracy is a passionate advocate for children and education and serves as a board member and family engagement trainer for the National PTA and Learning Heroes. In 2020, Tracy was honored as the National PTA Lifetime Achievement Life Member, featured Learning Hero and Champion for Children. She is a frequent motivational speaker and conducts family engagement training. Tracy works with children at a church as Vacation Bible School coordinator and a program assistant for a local church youth auxiliary. Please join me in welcoming Tracy Potts.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am so excited to look on my computer screen and see all these festive faces tonight. You know, as I think about the fact that we cannot be together in one room, we are together in one voice, and we are together in one purpose tonight, which is to save the Imperial Hotel. And I'm so thankful that you were all able to come and join us here tonight. So I want to encourage you to put on those masks and get into the spirit of this evening. If you're like me, you probably came in and you had your mask on the side, and I'm going to see if anybody else is going to wear a mask. So I went ahead and put mine on. If anybody needs one and you can reach through my computer screen, I even brought an extra one. So I'm going to ask you all to please be festive and let's, in our minds at least, imagine what it would be like if we were in the same room together enjoying this program tonight. The occasion for which we're here, of course, is to raise funds to save the historic Imperial Hotel. Let me tell you a little bit about this hotel and why it's so important to our collective history. The hotel is in Thomasville, Georgia. It was built by the Lewis brothers, local Black brick masons, back in 1949, which I learned when I visited Thomasville, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. It was owned and operated by Harvey and Dorothy Lewis Thompson until 1969. There was a restaurant, a barber shop, and 8 guest rooms and 2 bathrooms on the second floor of this hotel. It served as a place for Black Americans who were traveling through the South to be able to stop and stay safely and comfortably during their travels. And there were a lot of famous guests who came through this hotel. Alto sax king Earl Bostic stayed at the hotel. There are rumors that B.B. King stayed at this hotel, the King Perry Band, the Five Blind Boys of Mississippi. And so it's so interesting when we really start to dig into our history. And this is why it's so important to preserve that history and save the hotel tonight. What I learned is that this is one of the hotels that was listed in the Green Book, which was a guide for Black Americans who were traveling in days when they couldn't just stop at the local Marriott and get a room. This was a guide so that they would know where they could stay safely. And this is one of the hotels that was listed there. The hotel is now owned by the Jack Hadley Black History Museum, which is in collaboration with the Williams Family Foundation. Thomasville Landmarks are working together to preserve this hotel. Now, I want you to learn a little bit more about a little bit more detail about the hotel and this project that we're talking about tonight. I'm going to introduce to you Melanie Martin of Thomas University. Her tenure at TU started more than 25 years ago as a counselor. She currently serves as the director of pre-college programs and has worked tirelessly to prepare at-risk youth for college. She's achieved over $6.5 million in grants for the university. She has used her skills and her experience to develop proposals, strategic planning, research, and in addition to her work at the university, she's also a grant writer for the museum. I want to share this because Melanie and I share a favorite quote. This is from Marian Wright Edelman, which says, "Service is the rent we pay for living." Please welcome Melanie Martin to tell us a little bit more about the hotel and about this effort to save it. Melanie?
Great. Thank you, Ms. Potts. I'm going to share my screen really quick and share a presentation. It's a brief presentation about the project and where we are with it. Okay. Good evening. As Ms. Potts said, I am a consultant and grant writer for the Jack Hadley Black History Museum. And I am thrilled to present this update on the Imperial Hotel project. It's a brief presentation, so don't let this outline freak you out. We're going to discuss the hotel, our rationale for acquiring the hotel, 3 phases of the project. The first stage is purchase, preservation, and renovation, and I'll explain all of those in a minute, as well as the current status of the project, and we'll conclude. Okay, so the first phase is purchase. It was a collaborative effort, of which I'll talk about a little bit more later. We have preserved it. It was in dire need of preservation, and we're currently in the renovation stage. The Jack Hadley Black History Museum has made numerous achievements over the years, but perhaps our most significant achievement to date is the purchase of the historic Imperial Hotel, as well as the shotgun house beside it. The purchase was a collaborative affair between the Williams Family Foundation and the Thomasville Landmarks organization, which is our local preservation organization. An anonymous donor helped us to purchase the shotgun house that sits beside the hotel. And we did this because we didn't want anything undesirable located right next to it. The whole idea started in 2013 when the museum received a technical assistance grant from the American Association of Museums, and that grant is called the Museum Assessment Program, or MAP. The assessor, Dr. Riddell Hearn, was highly qualified to help the museum determine its strengths and weaknesses, as well as map out a plan for the future. She received her Doctor of Philosophy in Humanities from Syracuse University and her undergraduate and graduate degrees from UCLA and Cal State. She's also a Fulbright specialist in museology. So we are very fortunate to have a qualified, passionate expert on our team. Among the many recommendations that she made was to increase the museum's visibility. She suggested the best way to do this was to have a satellite museum downtown. So we quickly took that recommendation and made it part of our long-term strategic plan. But never, ever did we ever realize that just a few short years later, we would actually have a downtown location. As Ms. Potts mentioned, the hotel was built and owned and operated by Harvey and Dorothy Thompson. The Thompson brothers were skilled brick masons, and Dorothy Thompson operated it. They operated the hotel from 1949 to 1969, and later on it was used as offices for our civil rights activist, Mr. Curtis Thomas. And it was eventually owned by a group of African-American businessmen. But unfortunately, it sat empty for 18 years until we purchased it. The hotel is historic because it provided safe accommodations for African-American travelers during the Jim Crow era, which is significant because after all, most hotels and motels during that time were unwelcoming to African-American travelers. It is well documented in Victor Hugo Green's Negro Motorist Green Book of 1949. The Green Book, as it is commonly called, lists various hotels, restaurants, homes, resorts, gas stations that were friendly to African-American travelers. It was a godsend in the era of segregation, discrimination, and sundown towns, and must be preserved to document the lived experiences of African-Americans during Jim Crow. As I mentioned, there are 3 phases to this project. The first phase was purchasing it, which was a collaborative effort. The second was to preserve it. Over the many years, termites and water intrusion has had a deleterious effect on the building. And many of you Thomasville folks remember how badly the roof was caved in. But also in 2019, with a generous donation from the Williams Family Foundation, we were able to repair the roof. Also, Dixon Pest Control worked with us to eliminate wood damaging pests. We're currently in the stages of renovation, but before we get to that, we had to develop a business plan, which is necessary to guide us and to inform us as to how best to utilize the building. We knew we wanted to have a satellite museum downstairs, but upstairs we didn't really understand what we were going to do with that. So the board met and came up with 3 ideas. One was to use it as office space, another was for youth programming, and another was to use it as an Airbnb type of lodging. We also know that it needed to reflect the period in which the hotel operated, which was the 1940s and 50s, so that the historic character of the space is preserved. For the last year, we worked with the Georgia Center for Nonprofits out of Atlanta to develop a business plan. And at our 25th annual meeting in January, we announced that we would indeed use it as an Airbnb. Our next steps are to work with our architect, Edwards and Olson, who will put a price tag on what it will cost to renovate it, and to start our capital campaign. And we are very fortunate to have some very knowledgeable, passionate fundraisers and philanthropists on our committee. And we are also very fortunate to have our own hired gun who's very knowledgeable about fundraising. And we're hoping to have another consultant out of DC to help us put together our capital campaign. So very shortly, hopefully you will receive emails, letters, phone calls. So don't hang up the phone when we call from us to help renovate the Imperial Hotel. To date, we have raised over $224,000 for its renovation, preservation, and purchase. So from a forgotten relic of the past, but forgotten not by many, Mr. Hadley and his board understand the value of this historic landmark and are working hard to restore it to its former glory. The Jack Hadley Black History Museum continues to fulfill its mission to document, preserve African-American artifacts, and educate its audiences on African-American history and culture. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email us or give us a phone call at the information you see below. And we'll be putting this also in the chat. Thank you. And back to Ms. Potts. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you. You've really given us a walk back through the past and into the future. When I saw that last slide that you showed, I saw that someone commented in the chat, I'll be the first one to stay. And my first thought was, you got to beat me there, because I can't wait. I look forward to bringing my family back to Thomasville to not only see, but to be a part of history. And it's going to happen. And it's going to happen probably sooner than we think, with the support of all of you here and others that you tell about this project. So now I want to tell you about something. You all look so great tonight, and we're going to honor that. You know, there are a couple of prizes. This is a party, right? Even though we're virtual, this is a gala. One of you tonight will win a 1-week free vacation to the location of your choice. This is courtesy Resort Condominiums International. You will only pay for your travel and food expenses, but the vacation the location is taken care of for you. So we are going to be awarding that tonight, and everyone who is attending tonight, who registered tonight, your name is you're going to see a pretty dramatic display of this later, but your name has been entered into that drawing. So before we leave tonight, somebody's going on vacation. Also, you want to stick around until the end of the gala, because we have some judges who are keeping an eye out for the best dressed costume at our Masquerade Gala tonight. Your masks are beautiful. I've been looking through and checking out everyone's masks. Everything is so colorful. And one of you is going to win a $100 Visa card. So keep that in mind. Keep your masks on, or put your masks on, and we're going to make those announcements at the end of the evening. Now, our next guest is national and international blues musician Jack Hadley. Jack was born in the Philippines and raised in San Francisco, got his first guitar at the age of 12. His family moved to Denver, Colorado, where he learned to play music by ear, playing everything from Hendrix to Dylan. And this was the foundation of music, the foundation of the blues that he was learning. Jack started performing as a solo artist and played countless shows with other bands as a hired gun. But in 2005, he decided to focus on writing and performing his own blues-based material with his own trio, the Jack Hadley Band. Jack had been the lead guitarist, playing at festivals and shows all over the country. He's played in Canada, in the United Kingdom. His latest music is Daybreak in Alabama, the Langston Hughes project that was released just last year. You heard a little bit of his music if you came in early, but now he's going to grace us with more. So at this time, I'd like to give ask you to give your applause, as we would if we were here in person, to Jack Hadley. Jack.
Thank you so much, everybody. Some more love from Colorado. This song is called I Too. I too, I am America. I too, I sing America. I am the dog of blood. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. When company comes. But I laugh and I eat well and I grow strong. I grow strong 'cause I too, I am America. I too, I sing America. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. When company comes. When company comes. But I laugh and I eat well and I grow strong. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then, 'cause I too. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then, 'cause I too. I sing America, I too. I am America. I too. I sing America. I am the darker blood. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. When company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then, 'cause I too. I am America. I too. I sing America. Thank you very much. That last song was from Daybreak in Alabama, the Langston Hughes Project. And this is another song. It's called Merry-Go-Round. Where's the Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round? 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 Mister, 'cause I'm on a ride down south where I come from. White and colored can't sit side by side. Where's the Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round? Where's the Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round? Down south on the train is a Jim Crow car. On the bus, we're putting her back, but there ain't no back on a merry-go-round. Where's a horse for a kid that's black? Where's a Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round? was a Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's another song about the South. Would you like another one?
Actually, I think we are going to, we might have you do some more music at the end. How's that? Can you hold on for a bit?
That sounds great.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So at this time, I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker for the evening. And when I finish telling you about our guest speaker, you, like me, are probably wondering how he has time to carve out for us tonight, because he is certainly a busy and very productive person. Laval Bell is a highly respected producer, an author, a playwright, an advocate, a minister, and a native of St. Louis, Missouri. He's written 8 inspiring educational publications, including the latest, Kids Journal Through COVID-19. In 2000, Bell founded the nonprofit organization Caring Ministries. This is a ministry that's committed to serving the needs of all people. As a minister, he has taught courses at West Angeles Bible College, traveled the country through urban communities, motivating young people, motivating adults in seminars and conferences, in prisons, in small groups, in congregations. And if that wasn't enough, he is also an accomplished musician. We just heard one accomplished musician. Bell has also played for artists like Aretha Franklin, Bette Midler, Andre Crouch, Chaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire, one of my favorites, Barry White, Kirk Franklin, the list goes on and on. He has taught courses at Bethesda University in California, co-producer of 3 gospel jazz CDs, one of which I'm gonna have to grab after this because that's one of my favorite genres. And if that weren't enough, he is also the founder and CEO of Noah's Ark Publishing Service and Black Minds Matter, the executive producer and co-writer of the inspirational youth talent showcase celebrating Black youth. And so you heard Walter talk about some of my work with young people earlier. I'm so inspired by the work that Laval Bell has done and continues to do for the young people in our communities around this country, a committed, dedicated, strong-willed individual that's bringing a message of hope and bringing a message of reconciliation. And thankfully, after all of that, he has taken a moment to bring that message to us tonight. So please join me in welcoming our guest speaker for the evening, Laval Bell.
Thank you so much. I would like to take this time to thank the Jack Hadley Black History Museum for allowing me the opportunity to share in this 3rd annual gala in this very novel environment that we find ourselves in. And I would also like to thank Mr. Hadley personally for hosting our book signing that took place in Thomasville on this past Tuesday. The youth anthology is entitled Kids Journal Through COVID-19, United Kids Speak. And just thank all the other participants. I've certainly enjoyed this activity. I've spent a lot of time in Thomasville at the beautiful lake you got there. It's a place that I kind of get away and play with those ducks. So I'm really honored to be a part of this legendary celebration in this very strange but novel space that we find ourselves in. So thank you very much. And it's Black History Month, and I won't beat around the bush. I'll get to my point. It's Black History Month, And I want to borrow some words from a very well-known gifted man of color that we're all familiar with. This gifted person is a writer, he's a musician, he's an author, he's a builder, he's a spokesperson, he's a business person, and he also is very fluent in real estate. He was considered the wisest man that ever lived. This man is none other than our brother, King Solomon. That's right. King Solomon helps us celebrate Black History Month. The words of this Black historian still continues to inspire us today. King Solomon wrote in many of his writings, "Your gift will make room for you." Your gift. So I know he was speaking of probably a tangible gift, but I like to take that and metaphorically express some areas of principles today of how our personal gifts or various gifts in our own lives today can make room for us. Your gift will make room for you. Our gifts are our treasures. Our gifts and talents are keys to opportunities. Your gifts and your talents are tools that will make room for you personally in your life, even today, as the writer, our brother, King Solomon wrote. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. My mom, Eva Jean Bell, had 10 children. I am the 6th child of 9 boys and 1 girl. My mom had 9 boys and she raised us alone. And in my home, I never heard the words, "I love you." I never had anyone in the house to call dad. No one ever said daddy to me. And so it was a very, very, very intense environment. Let's put it that way. My home was a lot of chaos. But I started playing the drums at age 11. At 11 years old, we lost my grand aunt named Isabella Hughes. And Isabella came to St. Louis and she witnessed me beating on all the tables and tabletops and all those things. And she said, "Hey, maybe you guys should buy Laval a set of drums." And she did. And she mailed a set of drums through the JCPenney's catalog. And I'm aging myself when I say JCPenney's, right? But my first set of drums at age 11 was mailed through JCPenney's. I took those drums to church a week later. I never had any drum lessons. Never had any music lessons, and I started playing. And my mom, when I started playing in the church, she ran out of the church because she knew that I had never had any actual drum lessons. I just started playing the drums right off the bat. But I also recall sitting in the classroom, growing up in St. Louis, daydreaming. I daydreamed and I could see myself on the stage with large audiences, and I really didn't know what that meant then, but I saw myself daydreaming and playing drums, and I didn't know what that really meant until time went on. Your gifts and your talents are your currency. Your gifts and your talents are your currency. And the only currency that I had as a child was my gift. We were very, very poor, 9 boys and 1 girl in St. Louis, but my gift that I had was definitely my currency. You see, your gift is like MasterCard or Visa. Gifts and talents are accepted anywhere in the world. You're not bound by resources. You're not bound by circumstances. Your gifts will make room for you, because I'm a witness that my gift made room for me. King Solomon spent most of his gifted currency on real estate. He built the greatest temple in the world. And people came from all over just to see the temple, not to mention that they came to experience the wisdom that he possessed. Solomon's gift of wisdom made room for him. And there are 2 types of gifts that I want to talk about today, or I want to encourage you to exercise today. There are 2 types of gifts. There is terrestrial gifts and there are celestial gifts. Let me say that again. Terrestrial is anything that's natural. Terrestrial is anything that you can tangibly put your hands on. So of course, Solomon built buildings that we can physically see. But then there's celestial gifts that we have. Celestial means anything you can dream, you can see, you can imagine, you can vision. I'm in the music and the publishing business. We call that intellectual property. Intellectual property. You see, everything that you see today started with an idea, started with a dream, started with a vision. Even the books that I've written, as you can see behind me today, the banner, the youth book, Kids Journal Through COVID-19, United Kids Speak, that was a result of a vision. Celestial is the supernatural, terrestrial is the natural. And so since we as African Americans are the original citizens of this planet, I'll say that again, African Americans are the original parents of this planet that we live on. It's quite important. It makes sense that you and I would exercise our citizenship in the supernatural realm. You were born with natural gifts, just like I was born to play music and play the drums. I never had a drum lesson, but playing the drums brought me opportunities. Playing the drums has afforded me this intersection that we're in today. Imagine playing the drums and traveling all over the world, writing books, doing plays. Today, my drum playing has me in this seat in a virtual environment because my gift, my natural gift, made room for me. Your natural gift is a gift that you have at birth. And why am I talking about gifts? I gave this some thought as it relates to what I would talk about today, because I believe that the best thing you could ever do is exercise what's your natural skills and your natural abilities. You see, I've never had any formal training in business. I've had no formal training. I don't recommend this to everyone, but I've had no formal training in book writing. I've had no formal training in music, but I allowed my gifts to make room for me. You see, there's a difference between education and attending school. We can educate ourselves for the rest of our lives. The sister who was reading today about the history of the Imperial Hotel over 70-something years ago. I mean, someone had a dream and a vision about that period of life. I mean, imagine during the Jim Crow era, during the Civil Rights era, and all the areas that they stopped us from traveling to exercise our talents. Those things didn't stop us from going forward. There's no bars, there's no prison, there's no jail that can ever inhibit your gifts or your dreams or your talents. And so the natural gift, really your natural gift, the gift that you were born with, I'm talking about you today, the audience, the gift that you were born with, it is rooted in the supernatural. It starts in the supernatural. It's your supernatural franchise is what I want to talk about today. Franchise is the right granted by government or corporations to any individual or group of individuals. Let me say that again. Franchise is the right granted by government or corporation to any individual or group or individuals. The greatest franchise that every African American can exercise today, of course, is our voting franchise. The government, when you vote, when we vote, we represent the government that we being people of color, and all people actually, but particularly people of color, because we came here unwilling, we came here as slaves. And isn't it amazing that coming here as slaves, coming here when we were encouraged not to congregate, when we were told not to express our natural hair, the enemy, whoever he or she or whatever government or whatever colonized motivation that thought that they would submerge or impede our giftedness, it didn't work. For we build buildings, we built the Imperial Hotel, we built the White House, we built the cobblestone, we built the various plasmas. Nothing, and if nothing can stop those, our ancestors, the folks that went before us, the shoulders that I stand on today, if they can do it then, you and I can still do it today. As citizens of the divine, we were born with the right also to exercise then our creative gifts. Let me say that again. I want to encourage you today to exercise your supernatural gift, your celestial gift. What are those? I want you to dream again. I want you to focus on your visions. I don't want you to walk away. Isn't it amazing when God spoke to Moses on the mountain? He said, I'm going to give you, watch this, gifted artisans, gifted people that I will impart the spirit of wisdom in, and they will build this temple. You do know that that first temple was a tent. And so from a tent to a temple, it was not Solomon whom we're taking these words of your gifts and out your purpose. It wasn't Solomon, it wasn't his dream to build a temple, it was his father's dream. But his father, David, King David, left a legacy. And I believe the Imperial Hotel and I believe the Jack Hadley Museum is leaving us a legacy. Mr. Hadley and the Hadley Foundation have done a great job and leaving us a strong foundation for us to build on. But I'm here to tell you today, we will only go as far as our dreams take us. Celestial property, what dreams, what visions, what motivation, what intellectual property do you have that will advance the places like the Imperial Hotel? Imagine not a yellow pages, but a book that we had to look at that time, a book to make sure that we weren't killed during the time of the civil rights and the Jim Crow era, a book that they had to look through to make sure that they would be safe. This is the obstacles that our people had to overcome. It's time to make room for our future, as past Thomasville residents did during the turbulent times of segregation and racism. The Imperial Hotel was a safe haven for Black people traveling in the South during the time of the Jim Crow era, during the Civil Rights Act environment. It's time as creative advocates. That's right. I want to enlist you into the group. I want to make you a disciple of creative advocates. It's time for creative advocates to take up arms and battle every obstacle of injustice with your gifts. That's right. We can exercise our gifts. Muhammad Ali exercised his gift and changed the world. Jim Brown, the football player, whoever thought that Jim Brown, with all of his tackling and his physical attributes, would wind up being an actor and finally advocate. I can go on and exercise various people like Nelson Mandela, who was first called a terrorist, who was a boxer. People forget that Madiba was his native name, was a boxer before he was the president of the people who imprisoned him. Nelson Mandela's gifts made room for him. I can go on and on. The great Frederick Price, who we just lost in St. Louis, Frederick T. Price, the great 20th and 21st century advocate for the faith movement in Los Angeles, California, whom we just lost, an apostle, a 20th and 21st century apostle. It's time to exercise your rights to dream and see visions. You see, when God said he created you and I in his image, if we are created in the image of God, and we are, that means that you possess the same eternal DNA as God. You exercise or you possess the same eternal DNA as all great people of all writings, of all teachings. It is time that we allow our gifts to make room for you. And yes, I play the drums, I write books, I do music. All those gifts make room for me, but it was the natural gift. See, I believe you've got one natural gift that will make room, and it will bring all opportunities to you. Isn't it amazing that writing of our brother King Solomon says, your gift, yours, will make room for you, as it made room and still making room today with Mr. Hadley and all the others. Today, Thomasville's resident Lloyd Austin, an African-American, is the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America. Considered the strongest military power in the world, an African-American who was a resident of Thomasville, Georgia, not to mention others like Andrew Young, an ambassador. The list goes on. Thomasville, Georgia produced today, get this, the Secretary of Defense of the United States of these Americas. The sacrifices of our great historians are recognized in the Jack Hadley Museum and the Imperial Hotel. Injustice and racism will not impede your natural gifts. Neither can poverty, ignorance, slavery, or a parentless home can destroy your destiny. People may try to erase our history, But as you can see in the preservation of the Imperial Hotel, the determination of gifted freedom fighters made room for us. What monument or what legacy will you leave? What monument or what legacy will you leave? I want to make sure I'm not going over my time. I want to make sure, because I can just go on and on. What legacy will you leave? King Solomon provided a timeless roadmap that navigates through life's challenges, a timeless roadmap. You're not too old and it's not too late. Isn't it interesting? Another great poet back in those times named Jeremiah. You see, your gift is older than you. Your purpose is older than you. Let me say this one more time. Your gift is older than you. Your purpose is older than you. Your purpose was here waiting for you when you got here. And so gifts is called a gift because there are talents and then there's gifts. A gift is something that makes room for you. Talents are endless. You can have as many talents as you want, which is what I'm exercising as a producer and playwright. Your talent is what you do. Your purpose is why you do it. Let me say it this way. If your gifts make room for you, then it'll bring all the resources and everything that you need. Don't say you don't have enough resources. You have celestial endless currency. You have the franchise of the heavenlies. You have an endless MasterCard or Visa in the supernatural world. You can spend as much time you spend, S-P-E-N-D, as much time as you want to spend, right, on your dreams and on your visions. Jeremiah, a young poet, when he prayed, his God told him that don't say that you are too young. Don't say, the writer writes that before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were brought to this earth, I sanctified you and set you apart. You're not too old and you're not too young. Your gifts will make room for you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Can we give him a virtual round of applause? That is amazing. You know, I am also a writer by trade, and it's part of, it's one of my gifts. And so I have all of these notes that I took while you were talking, because it kind of helps me really take in what you were saying. It was so powerful. You told us that we all have gifts and that these gifts will make room for us, that they'll bring us opportunities. You told us that we can go as far as our dreams will take us. So we need to exercise our right to dream. You reminded us that we are creative advocates. For you, it was the drums. For me, I talk for a living and do a few other things, but all of us have some level of creativity in there that we can use to improve our world and improve our communities and the places where we live. You told us that we are gifted freedom fighters, and that is what we're doing here tonight. That's a big part of that, is the reason why we're here tonight, because we want to fight to preserve that freedom. And the thing that I had to literally turn my page on the side because I ran out of space and write this down. This is such an important question. What legacy will you leave? You are not too old, and it is never too late. Thank you so much for that inspirational word for us tonight. And I think it goes right into our next speaker, James Jack Hadley. So this is not the Jack Hadley that you heard, the musician earlier, but this is my cousin, James Jack Hadley. I told you that I would tell you a little bit more about that later. I am a Hadley descendant, And I was blessed and honored to take my family down a few years ago to visit the museum, which is absolutely amazing. But you guys are there, you know that. James Jack Hadley, of course, is a native of Thomasville. He was born at Pebble Hill Plantation in Thomas County to the late Dennis and Rosetta James Hadley. They were the parents of 15 children. He graduated from Douglas High School. He went into the Air Force and served his country for 28 years. Before retiring, he was also employed with the Postal Service as a letter carrier for 12 years before retiring there. In his spare time, he's always been an avid collector and a curator of Black history. His collection traces all the way from pre-slavery to the present. So the Jack Hadley Black History Museum, through sheer determination, he pulled this together. It was once a private collection in a thriving museum. It consists of 3 galleries, more than 5,000 square feet, and nearly 5,000 archives, rare photographs, objects. I was there. We could have stayed there for days looking through this museum. It was absolutely fantastic. There are exhibits of the achievements of African Americans in national, international success, athletics, the arts, entertainment. It's a not-for-profit organization. It is in the formerly all-Black Douglas High School, so he is making history in the place where he began his education, with nearly, as I said, 5,000 artifacts on display, including those commemorating the lives of Thomasville's early Black achievers, because it's so important to know our own local history. And I should also note that he has an honorary doctorate degree from Thomas University. So I want to go ahead and take this time to introduce our next speaker, and I'm honored to say my cousin, James Jack Hadley.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to prepare to honor our volunteers. I'm honored to be recognized. I'm honored to recognize the 3 women who embodied and redefined as volunteers. They offer themselves a service to the museum and to everyone that come to visit. They give their time and talent without pay. They are blessing to not only to be museum, but especially to our children that visit. They plant the seeds to these young people. They teach them the tools that they can achieve life with no problems, as other men have done in the past. They give guided tours and educate our next generation, and also they can help complete mailing, stuff like that in the museum. First, I'm going to recognize this afternoon Mrs. Johnny Mae Abrams. Mrs. Johnny Mae Abrams is a native of Monticello, Florida, and only child. Miss Abrams described herself as a little shy and an academic person. She is a graduate of Jefferson County, Florida school system. When she attended from grade 1 until she graduated from Harvard Academy High School in Monticello, Florida. As a young woman, her aunt took her to hear Mary McLeod Bethune and speaking at FAMU, and Mrs. Bethune became her role model. She was inspired to attend Bethune-Cookman College and went on there to study elementary education because she wanted to be the teacher that taught her 31 years. She taught for 31 years. After graduating from Bethune-Cookman, she met her husband, the late Leonard E. Abrams, and they became union, and with 5 children who were born, 2 sons and 3 daughters. After retiring from teaching, she was enjoying her traveling and volunteering. She likes volunteering at the museum because she has a chance to work around youth. Young people need to know and build history, Black history, and she would want to teach them about it is so that they will know Black history, like Bethune-Cookman, Miss Bethune-Cookman, done other things in the community. She believed it is important to help children feel good about themselves and to learn history. That's why she works for the museum. So at this time, I would like to present Mrs. Abrams a plaque here. Unfortunately, Mrs. Abrams, this is the virtue way of we doing it today. So I present you this plaque right here. And at a later date, we'll personally put it into your hands under the distance. So Mrs. Abrams, thank you for all your service. We appreciate you and your family. I notice all your children's on Zoom this afternoon. So we thank you, and we thank you, Ms. May Abrams. Our next honoree tonight is Mrs. Mrs. Jacqueline Bryant. Mrs. Bryant was born and raised in Thomasville, Georgia, and she grew up in the Dewey City neighborhood, even where she lived today. That's a historical neighborhood. She described herself as a tomboy because she was the only girl in her family, and they had played outside quite a lot. Her early memories was as a child while living with her grandparents who managed a plantation where she attended a one-room school. She has never forgotten her first teacher, Mrs. McLeod, and wanted to grow up and be just like her. So she did. She attended Marshburn College in Atlanta, Georgia, and graduated in 1955. The next year, she met her husband, Mr. James I. Bryant, and returned to Thomasville. And Mr. Bryant was a great guy because he was my football coach all while I was in high school. They were blessed with 5 living children, and she said become a parent taught her the virtue of being a patient and a self-sacrificing because they had to do without their children, had to do a lot. After retiring from teaching, Mrs. Bryant volunteered as a different place, such as the Douglas Elementary School, the Patterson House, and Genealogy Library. She was happy to volunteer as a tour guide at the museum because she liked being around young people and happy to increase her knowledge of Black history. She said she was enjoying her life as a Christian witness of Jehovah and loved reading and studying the Bible. She also drew inspiration from Langston Hughes' poems, The Dreams. Ms. Bryant has been an opportunity to travel to many different countries in the world, such as Germany, Switzerland, and South Africa. And the States as well. I applaud Mrs. She said, I applaud Mr. Hadley, his family, and the wonderful support, the staff and assistants to make our museum a unique establishment in our community. Thank you, Mrs. Bryant. And tonight I present Mrs. Bryant. Unfortunately, I cannot reach you, but I'd like to present you this plaque here. This plaque here says, I'm gonna read it, I should have said it first, to Volunteers Award, Mrs. Abrams, same as Mrs. Bryant, and also Mrs. Devoe, the next one, recognizing your outstanding effort and contribution to this Jack Hadley Black History Museum, Inc. Thank you for your time and consideration. Signed, James Jack Hadley, the president and curator and founder of the Jack Hadley Black History Museum, Thomas County, February 12th, 2021. Please don't take this home and put it in a drawer somewhere. Hang it so when I visit you, I'll be able to find it in your house. Thank you. Okay, let's go for all 3 of you. Our last honoree tonight is Mrs. Celesti Devoe. Mrs. Devoe grew up in Tyler, Texas during segregation days. She said her childhood was simply with different friends to play with and neighborhoods who helped keep an eye on all the children in the neighborhood. Her earliest memories was helping her grandmother can harvest food and garden, which helped her team, would help her learn to peel pears and make pears, carve it, and preserve. Her fondest memory was school. She remembered committed to her teachers as was a series about learning. She participated a lot in different activities and clubs. Her high school choir even won some of the competition. She and her spouse, the late Glenda Devoe, moved to Thomasville, Georgia from Omaha, Nebraska in 1985. She and her husband met an event given by friends. They had 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Being a parent teaches you patience, flexibility, and to be observant and have a sense of humor. When she was growing up, she gave some thoughts as being a reporter, but decided to major in English literature with a minor in history. She has been taught language, art, reading, and social studies, even different schools for many years. After retiring in 2005, she traveled the world and volunteered at the museum. She said it is a perfect place to volunteer because of the interest of history. Ms. Devoe said that museum is important to Thomasville because it provides an oral and visual history with written history to the community that contribute to made of African Americans. Mrs. Devoe, I would like to also give you this plaque here. Again, I'm not going to apologize because I can't personally put you to it, but you know, God placed a warning to us, COVID-19, and so we have to deal with it. So Mrs. Devoe, this is the plaque for you. I hope that you enjoy it as I read the other piece. And again, when things open up, we shall visit your home, but we will call you all in about a few days to take a group picture to share it with the community. And I would like to say also, before we close out, where's my script? I hope I don't run over time here. Let me see, am I just a second here. Okay, I think I'm finished. Thank you all. Thank you all. And also now I turn it back over to the Mr. Ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, as you were speaking, you know what I thought? When I grow up, I want to be a Johnny Abram, I want to be a Jackie Bryant, or I want to be a Celeste Devoe. These are people, these are women who have poured into our young people. They have poured into our communities, and we can now see the difference. My pastor likes to say, give me my flowers while I'm living. And I think that's what you did tonight. Thank you all so much. Congratulations. I wish we were all in the room where we could hear the applause, but if you could either type in the chat or just clap on screen or show your hands to show them how thankful we are for the work that they have done over these years. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. All right, it's that time. Those of you who got your masks on, somebody's the winner of that $100 gift card. So I need a drum roll, but I can't hear you. So here's what I'm going to ask for. Can everybody do this? Everybody who's on camera. All right, give me a drum roll. Our masquerade winner for the night is Glenda Gibbons. Congratulations, Glenda. Can you raise your hand so we can pin your shot so everyone can see you? I scrolled through and found you earlier.
Thank you.
Can everybody see Glenda? You had on a nice shiny black mask. It was fantastic. But thank you to everyone who got into the spirit of this. I'm scrolling through, I even see a little one there. Hi, little Bryant. Hi, look at you. So thank you all for getting into the spirit of this, because I think this is what has helped make the night, to me, so inspiring and so much fun. Now, that's not our only one. I'm going to ask my friend Kathy to help me out, because remember, we have a 1-week vacation to the location of your choice. You've just got to get there and you've got to pay for your food, but you're going to have a fantastic place to stay. And I'm going to ask my cousin Kathy to pull up the wheel of fortune. This is our own local Vanna White. So if you can kind of pull up the wheel of fortune here, I think we will be able to see, remember everybody's name was included. There we go. Okay, so let's give it a spin. Round and round it goes. Whose name it stops on, nobody knows. Here we go, it's slowing down. And boy, this is scary. Do we have a winner? Linda Wills? Linda, are you here with us tonight? Somebody help me out. I'm looking for Linda. Is Linda with us tonight? Yes? Okay, well, let's give Linda a round of applause. Awesome. We've got to find out where Linda is and where Linda wants to go on vacation. That's a pretty awesome thing. Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I was actually supposed to do this earlier, and I forgot. We're going to do a quick commercial break and just show you a brief video previewing why we're here tonight and to really continue to remind you and encourage you. We're so thankful for your presence here tonight. And this is an ongoing effort. You heard earlier that this started in 2013, and there is a lot of money that has to be raised to save this museum. And this effort is not over when we leave here tonight. So this is just a little video to remind you of why we're here and why we are behind this effort to save the Imperial.
That's in Leeds, had a Bronx State or something, you know. I don't know about myself.
Hey, Jackie. Hey, Jackie.
Oops.
That was awesome. And I saw that video for the first time. I shared it on my social media and I thought, forget NBC. I want to go work for whoever's producing the videos for the museum. That was fantastic. Thank you. So my time has come to an end for this evening. I'm going to turn it back over to my cousin, James Jack Hadley, in just a minute. But I just wanted to take one more moment to thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming and getting into the spirit of things tonight, both with your beautiful costumes, your beautiful masks, your comments in the chat, so inspiring and supportive and encouraging. And I just want to remember some of the words from our keynote speaker tonight. What really struck me is, what legacy will you leave? You're never too old, and it's never too late. So thank you all for allowing me to be with family. I think in some ways we are just all family, especially these days when it's hard for us to connect, but we want to stay interconnected. And sometimes we have to do it electronically like this, but that's okay. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, for letting me be a part of the Thomasville family tonight, or come back home to my Thomasville family tonight, and for supporting, for the most important thing, was supporting this effort to save the Imperial Hotel. I look forward to seeing you next year. I hope it's in person, and I'm going to turn it back over to the man of the hour, my cousin, and the man who's really behind this effort, James Jack Hadley, to wrap things up for the night. Thank you.
I want to thank tonight. I really want to thank Tracy Potts. I want to thank, did such a beautiful job. She's my cousin. We met several years ago. Thank you, Tracy. Devoe, thank you. Thank you so much for that great presentation you did. You had a combination of everything that we all need tonight. Thank you. Jack, the real Jack Hadley, the real Jack Hadley. My son, his name Jim Hadley. He's a musician just like you are. So I can relate real good to Jack, what you're doing. Thank you, man. I wish you success all the way to the top. And I know you're there already. Thank you for a job well done. And I gotta definitely thank my staff before I go too far and forget them. That's Daniel Pittman, who is my museum educator, who is hosting this at the museum. He come all the way down from Ocklackney, Georgia, down to Thomasville to make sure that everything was working perfect for us. Thank you, Daniel. You took care of the old man here, because I got lost there one time with the Zoom. Want to thank the special committee that pulled this together. My two daughters, I always tell them that's why we sent them off to college, is to be able to pay back. So they're paying me back today by what they're doing. My son-in-law, who married into my family, he knew what he was getting when he got my oldest daughter, and Jackie as well, when she and her family. So again, my son Jim could not be here tonight, but I thank him. He's part of the board. I want to thank all my committee members, the Jackie team that worked with her, and Mrs. Maud, I'm a grant writer, my consultant, been with me for over 20 years, writing grants for me. And all the grants she's written for me, I would say equivalent to pretty close to over $400,000 that I have received since 2006 when we opened the museum up. And I want to thank you, Ms. Martin, for what you're doing. You really support this museum well, almost like a board member, but you're a staff, a volunteer staff that help us out at the museum. And I want to thank all my volunteers, the one that we honor tonight. They've been a blessing to the museum, but I'm getting a little worried now, because when I open the museum up, probably midsummer off, when this thing tickles, as my 99-year-old sister said, this thing got her, because she was in a nursing home, so she caught the virus, COVID-19, to like 11 other nurses, but they're fine now. The nursing home is good. But she said this thing got her, but there ain't nothing to play with. So you got to wear those masks. You got to wear those masks. She keeps preaching that. She's 99 years old. Estella Gruber, who has written 2 books, The Daughter of a Plantation Worker and Cooking with Love, all while she's living in a nursing home, deaf, has a cochlear implant, and cannot walk unless she cannot stand alone, has to go in a wheelchair. That's what can happen at the age of 99. She's doing a great job. I just want to thank her. I wish she could have been here also. I want to thank all my wife, my beautiful wife, who's sitting next to me and have been sitting next to me for the past 64 years, and that's been with me all these years, put up with me when I was traveling overseas in Spain, in Saudi Arabia by myself, Vietnam, as well as in Taipei, Taiwan, and she back and taking care of her 3 little kids. But I want to thank her for so many years that we hanging out together. And I married her off the plantation. As I always tell the story, when we got married on a Friday night, there was a football game going on. My brother and sister, they was in uniform to go play in the band. The same night, I borrowed my father-in-law's, I think he had a 54 Chevy, and I borrowed it to take us to the Tallahassee. And I believe that was a trip we made. Probably lived in a green hotel. I think they only had 2 hotels in Tallahassee, but I really wish, whether or not, I don't know whether the hotel is still there or not. And then we went to a football game. My other sister, Agnes in school, she took us to a football game. So that's how we spent our honeymoon. The problem I had to be back Sunday morning at 10 o'clock to give my father-in-law his car so he can go to church. So you can see I had a shock. But then for the next few days, I had to Saudi Arabia and spent a whole year. I can go on and tell you some good stories, but thank you. I want to thank her. I said that, and my children, and my grandchildren. Again, I want to thank my board, who worked so diligently on all the projects we work on. It's helping us with. I want to thank my donors, members, business people who help support this museum. I tell you, if it wasn't for the donors, if it wasn't for members that actually send in donations, if it wasn't for them and the charity organization, I could not open my doors. So I want to thank them so much. And there's a list of them that's shown on the screen right now. I can go through the list, but you see it as well. All of them. I want to thank them so much. And my wife keep pointing at me. She said, I got 5 minutes, but what she don't understand, I got the flow now. And nobody, huh? Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. So I just want to let everybody know that I really thank you all so much for what you've done. This has been a beautiful program. And so I can go on and say more, but I'm gonna shut up now because my wife keeps telling me that it's Walter Leslie is supposed to come up next. But I know that. But I love you guys. Thank you. I only got one commitment, is that we had planned to raise $20,000, but we missed it by $5,005. So I'm looking at, I know that there's someone out there that can help this old man at 85 years old run a museum that got many memorabilia of the local history as well as national. I know that they're gonna step up, and those checks gonna roll in on PayPal or in the mail for the next 5 days. I need $5,005 to make that $20,000. I know that I got your support. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless each one of you, and I'll have a great day. Thank you, and thank you again, Cousin Tracy. You did a great job as the Mr. of Ceremony. Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations, Jack Hadley. I hope it was a success. Thank you for including me. From Colorado, this Jack Hadley. This one's called I Need Somebody. Somebody like you. I need somebody. Somebody like you. Do you hear me, baby? Good loving too. Looking for a good man. Wants to be true. I know you're looking for a good man, wants to be true. Step right up, baby. You'll never be blue. I need somebody somebody like you. I need somebody, somebody like you. Do you hear me, baby? The sun is shining, walking down the road. The sun is shining, walking down the road. It's gonna be cold outside real soon. Can you come on through? I need somebody, somebody like you. I need somebody, somebody like you. Do you hear me, baby? Good loving too. Thank you. I need somebody. When you wear that dress, baby, it's like a cold shot in my veins. When you wear that red dress, baby, it's like a cold shot in my veins. You know my heart can't take it. I just can't stand the pain. I remember the last time, the way it used to be. I remember the last time, baby, the way it used to be. How much I love you and how bad you treated me. When I'm out there running, always think of you. when I'm out there running. Always, always think of you. Gotta tell you, baby, I really don't care what you say you do. I should have known your love wasn't meant for me. I should have known your love, it wasn't meant for me. Cause one day, baby, you're looking at a mirror, you see just what I see. When you wear that dress, baby, it's like a cold shot in my veins. When you wear that red dress, baby, it's like a cold shot in my veins. You know my heart can't take it, and I just can't stand the pain. When you wear that dress, baby, it's like a cold shot in my veins. Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite songs from an artist named Eric Bibb. It's called New Home. I'm building a new home across the county line. I'm building a new home across the county line. Up on a high hill where the view is so fine. Down in the lowlands, water tastes like turpentine. Down in the lowlands, water tastes like turpentine. I'm going up the country where it tastes like cherry wine. I made a piece of money, I won't say how. I made a piece of money, I won't say how. I bought my own 40 acres, my own mule and breaking plow. I bought my own 40 acres, won't have to scrape and bow. I heard a voice talking like a radio in my head. I heard a voice talking like a radio in my head. I'm about to tell you just what it said. I'll put your feet on solid ground by and by. I'll put your feet on solid ground by and by. Oh, when the river gets to rising, you'll be high and dry. I'm building a new home across the county line. I'm building a new home across the county line. Up on a high hill with a view so fine. Thank you. This one is called God. I am God without one friend, alone in my purity, in a world without end. But I am God. Below me and lovers who tread the sweet ground. But I am God. It's better to be human than God. Better to be human than God, and lonely. I'm so lonely. I am God. I cannot come down. Spring, life is love. Love is life only. It's better to be human than God. Better to be human than God, and lonely. I'm so lonely. I am God without one friend. Alone in my purity, in a world without end. But I am God. I cannot come down. Spring, life is love. Love is life only. But I am God. I cannot come down. Thank you.
Very good, very good, very good.
Yeah, I can do another one. Another son of the South, Stevie Ray Vaughan. The song is called Tick Tock. The tired and the homeless had smiles on their faces. The sad and the hungry had family all around. The streets in the city were all beautiful places, and the walls came tumbling down. People of the world all coming together, all coming together for the boys and the girls. And the children of the world look forward to a future. Remember, tick-tock people, time is ticking away. Remember, tick-tock, tick-tock people, time is ticking away. I had a vision of blue sky from sea to shining sea. All the trees in the forest stood strong and tall again. Everything was clean and pretty and safe for you and me. The worst of enemies became the best of friends. People of the world all coming together, all coming together for the boys and the girls. And the children of the world look forward to a future. Remember, tick-tock people, time's ticking away. Remember, tick-tock, tick-tock people, time's ticking away. Time keep on keeping on. Time keep on keeping on. Time keep on keeping on. Time's ticking away. People of the world all coming together, all coming together for the boys and the girls and the children of the world. Look forward to a future. Remember, tick-tock people, time's ticking away. Remember, tick-tock. Tick-tock people, time is ticking away. I had a vision of blue sky from sea to shining sea, all the trees in the forest stood strong and tall again. Everything was clean and pretty and safe for you and me. The worst of enemies became the best of friends. People of the world, all coming together, all coming together for the boys and the girls and the children of the world. Look forward to a future. Remember, tick-tock people, time is ticking away. If you haven't made a contribution to the fund to save the Imperial Hotel, please do so. Congratulations, James, Jack Hadley in Thomasville, Georgia. Remember, tick-tock, tick-tock people, time's ticking away. Remember, tick-tock, tick-tock people, time's ticking away. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, everybody in Thomasville, for inviting me and for your friendship. Let's keep it going.
Don't y'all forget to order his records now. You saw the website is on. And be sure to buy records from him.
Everybody wants to know why I'm singing the blues. Everybody wants to know why I'm singing the blues. I've been around a long time. People, I've really paid my dues. When I first got the blues, they brought me over on a ship. Men were standing over me, and a lot more with the whip. And everybody wants to know why I'm singing the blues. I've been around a long time. People, I really paid my dues. I laid in the ghetto flats, cold and numb. I heard the rats tell the bed bugs to give the roaches some. And everybody wants to know why I'm singing love blues. I've been around a long time. People, I really paid my dues. I stood in line down at the county hall. I heard a man say, we're gonna build some new apartments for y'all, and everybody wants to know why I'm singing the blues. I've been around a long time. People, I really paid my dues. My kid's gonna grow up to be a fool, 'cause I ain't got no more room for him at school. And everybody wants to know why I'm singing love blues. I've been around a long time. People, I really paid my dues. Blind man on the corner, begging for a dime. The rollers come and call him and put him in the jail for a crime. And everybody wants to know why I'm singing love blues. I've been around a long time. People, I really paid my dues. My kid is gonna grow up to be a fool. Thank you so much. Salute to B.B. King. deeper and deeper. I'm not feeling that well. I can't get enough sleep. I used to dream in color. It was so sweet. That's how it was yesterday. And when I wake up in the morning, I can't stand the heat. I can't stand the heat. Deeper and deeper into the well I go. Deeper and deeper, I'm moving way too slow. What did I do before the darkness came? Man, I just don't know. If you got the problem, so many people do, all that tossing and turning, it gets to you. If you got the answer, be sure to let me know. When it's deeper and deeper, you know it's time. It's time to go. Deeper and deeper into the well I go. Deeper and deeper, I'm moving way too slow. What did I do before the darkness came? Man, I just don't know. If you got the problem, so many people do, all that tossing and turning, it gets to you. If you got the answer, be sure to let me know. When it's deeper and deeper, you know it's time. It's time to go. Deeper and deeper into the well I go. If you got the problem, so many people do. All that tossing and turning, it gets to you. If you got the answer, be sure to let me know. When it's deeper and deeper, you know it's time. It's time to go. Deeper and deeper into the well I go. Thanks, everybody.